Hello, everyone, and welcome to Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. It's Chicago week, and Kristen and I are back talking about the Chicago Sky on this Labor Day Monday, off from work, time to pod. Kristen, what's going on?
Just chilling. Happy long weekend. Just enjoying the last couple weeks of summer.
Yeah, the last couple weeks of summer, the last couple weeks of the W. Mm-hmm. It's all coming to a head.
It's not fall yet.
It's not fall yet.
I know you want to decorate.
I do want to decorate.
I'm not ready.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna go down into our storage closet later today and hopefully find some of our fall decor. Even if we don't put it up, it's okay. I know some people don't like to rush come September 1st.
It's 80 degrees still. I cannot.
I get it. I understand. I just want to be ready. I just want to be ready for when it's 74 degrees.
Okay,
and
that's the threshold.
And a little chilly. It's not going to be sweater weather for a while. But we're here to talk about basketball. Here to talk about WNBA basketball. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about the Chicago Sky this week. That was the team that we had the pleasure of watching. If you are new here, every week we go through a different team in the WNBA, and we're a fan of that team. We watch the games that they play, and we cover them in a bit of a broader scope, more focused on them, or a narrower scope, I should say, focused on that team. If you'd like to get in touch with us and let us know if you have any takes about the Chicago Sky, you can send us an email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com, or connect with us on our Twitter at @ATBpod_. Okay, so let's get into the most important thing about the Chicago Sky that happened this week. The mascot, Sky Guy, rest in peace.
Bye-bye, Sky Guy.
Goodbye, Sky Guy.
So sad for Sky Guy. Not really. He was horrible.
Maybe the worst mascot in the WNBA. Sky Guy, a guy who I'll get into the backstory of briefly. Just a dude. He's just a guy.
Yeah, nothing is special about him.
He kind of looks like the Tick. If you've ever seen the Tick.
No.
Just look up what the Tick looks like, and that's basically Sky Guy. The superhero, the Tick, not like a bug. But pretty snoozy. Kristen has a WNBA tier list of random WNBA team things. Not hers, but she found one.
It's on
and Sky Guy is the bottom tier with the coronavirus and ticket prices, season ticket prices or something like that. Oh yeah,
they've skyrocketed. Okay, so tell us about Sky Guy.
If you're unfamiliar, here's the Sky Guy's backstory. He's a costume human who's the team's biggest fan. Not anymore. Sky Guy is a masculine character with a love of adventure and wild imagination. He's the youngest of 6 children who played basketball with his sisters growing up in Chicago. So
that's his backstory.
All of his sisters play basketball.
Yeah.
Sky Guy is also known for inventing a jetpack to travel the world in search of women's basketball. It's right there in Chicago.
Okay.
He's a regular at home games, and he's always looking to make new friends.
Okay,
Rest in peace, Sky Guy.
Well, yeah. So sad we'll never see Sky Guy again. But instead, we have a new mascot named Sky. I'm very excited about this mascot. However, name bad.
Why?
Named Sky with an E, the Lioness.
A lioness.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She debuted August 28th, so the first game of this week. The Lioness was chosen to embody strength, feminine power, grace, and the courage to overcome obstacles, qualities that the Chicago Sky consistently showcase.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know if she really looks like a lioness.
No, she looks more like... She looks kind of like Prowl.
She has
IMO.
Just triangle head.
She's got a case of triangle head. Kristen and I we were at the beach this weekend, and we were playing Sporkle. We were doing some Sporkle quizzes, some WNBA Sporkle quizzes to test our knowledge. We did quite well, always above average, but we did one about the mascots. Mm-hmm. And Sparky, the mascot for the Sparks, I was like, that's not a very creative name, but Sky, the mascot for the Sky, I was like, why didn't they do Sky E? And Kristen was like, well, they kind of did do Sky E. They quite literally did Sky plus the letter E.
Yeah.
So I think Sky is just going to be Sky E to me.
It could be anything else related to the sky.
Anything. We were talking about ideas.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done, like, Nimbus. You could have done, like...
What?
Like a cloud name. Like a cloud name. Or, like, Strata.
Yeah, that would be
or,
cute.
like, Atmos.
What? Those are boy names.
Well, Strata could have been a girl's name.
Yeah, that's cute. No, you said Blue. I think that is perfectly acceptable.
Literally Blue.
I think Windy is perfectly acceptable.
A Windy. Shout out Brian Windhorst.
Fine.
Yeah, he could have done better than Sky.
Could have thought about it for 10 minutes. Okay, whatever. But something is, why she is a lioness. Mm-hmm. There are 2 lion statues that sit in front of the Art Institute of Chicago.
Oh.
So there's like lions around the city.
Yes. I guess we saw those. We were in Chicago a couple years back. I guess I remember seeing some lions.
Yeah. So that's Sky. She is cute. She might have adjustable eyeshadow.
Really?
I saw that somewhere. It's like, that's cute.
That's pretty cool.
But, yeah, that's Sky.
So thank you for listening to another episode of Detective Baseline. No, just kidding. We have to talk about basketball now, which, maybe comes second to the mascot. But we had the pleasure of watching 3 Chicago Sky games, one against the Mystics, one against the Indiana Fever, and one against the Minnesota Lynx, which resulted in 3 losses for Chicago. We have, over the last 3 weeks, gotten 1 win from the teams that we have followed.
That's our fault.
It's not our fault. Chicago, if you're the 8th seed, you should probably be winning one of these games.
No, they've lost 6 in a row at this point.
They've lost 6 in a row. So let's start up top. Washington Mystics, the team that we followed last week, opens the week against Chicago with a win, 74-70. Mm-hmm. What were your takeaways from our first Chicago action? It was kind of a weird game.
Yeah, it was a weird game. It's just always turnovers.
So, especially in this game, there were so many passes into double teams that ended in turnovers. Just unnecessary moves for Chicago.
Yeah.
You're thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm analyzing. It's like, they obviously, since trading Marina Mabry, they do not have people that can shoot threes.
It is not a part of their WNBA identity to shoot threes.
No.
Very similar to what we've said in the past about the Connecticut Sun. Very, very similar. Not their game. And it's funny that these 2 teams are kind of intertwined now with the transition of the trade of Marina Mabry to Connecticut. Mm-hmm. That, like, Connecticut takes the single, like, volume 3-point shooter from Chicago, and is replaced with Rachel Bannum, who is a player that can be like a medium volume 3-point shooter. She showed it in a little bit of the games that we watched this week. But yeah, they don't have a bunch of shooting. They don't have a ton of dribbling. They don't have a ton of high quality passers. Mm-hmm. Some of their best passing is done by Camila Cardoso, who's their center.
No, she's a good passer.
She's a great passer.
Yeah.
Especially for a rookie. Mm-hmm. But in this game, it was on full display when they are, trying to get in transition and passing into the hands of 2 Mystics without another Sky player within 3 feet of the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, just messy ball. And a game where Teresa Weatherspoon goes to the entirety of the bench, plays every single player on the team.
In the first 10 minutes.
In the first 10 minutes of the game, because they don't have their primary offensive engine in Kennedy Carter, who was in health protocols for the week. So he didn't get to watch any Kennedy Carter ball all week, which was difficult.
Which, yeah, I guess, she is a good player, would have made the games more exciting, I imagine. But yeah, it was pretty rough without her. I think what they are good at, which of course everybody knows about Angel, is the rebounding.
Yes, a good rebounding team, obviously. When you have a player like Angel who this week broke the rebounding record, the all-time single-season rebounding record, then you're probably a decent rebounding team.
Yeah. Oh, we can talk about that.
We will talk about that in more detail later.
Yeah.
But
it was fun. It was fun to see Angel Reese and Aaliyah Edwards, who's on the Mystics, playing with each other. Because they were being very physical against each other. And you could tell we're like, trying to win their matchups. So that was fun, seeing those two rookies. But what sticks in my head from this game was just the last possession, I think it was, of the Sky, when they're only a couple points behind.
The last possession. Oh, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And they're just like, whoever had the ball, just standing there, dribbling, watching the shot clock go down. And then, like, at the last second, passes it, they don't get a shot up.
Yep.
What?
There's very little excuse when you're down by, I believe they were down by 2. They lost the game by 4, but I think in that moment they were down by 2. And you don't get a shot off at the end of the game. 8 seconds left, you lose the game there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just many members of the team are scared to take jumpers because they don't shoot that many jumpers. It's a lot of paint action and a lot of drives. Now, again, not a lot of threes. Very weird. And I know I'm looking at the rundown. We have John's takes later on in the show. I'm just going to get right to it now. I think the Chicago Sky are tanking for Paige Beckers. Hey, Post John here. I realized a couple months ago, and forgot while we were recording this, but the Dallas Wings own the right to swap picks with the Chicago Sky. So the idea that I had about Chicago tanking for Paige is not a future that is available to Chicago. They may still want to tank in the hopes that Dallas also stays in the bottom 4 spots so that both of them are guaranteed a lottery pick. But in the case that Dallas, exceeds expectations and steals this 8th seed, like is something that I've been considering, there's a chance that Chicago could win the lottery, Dallas could be a playoff team, and then Dallas could steal that lottery pick from Chicago. So it's a bit of a tough time in Chicago. I don't necessarily know why they're doing what they're doing, outside of the chance that they are hoping that things can stay the same with the same bottom 4. But we're going to have to see how it turns out with these lower teams winning games and losing games come the stretch of the season. But it's going to continue to be interesting with, like I said, 8 games to go. I think they are trying to tank.
Okay, well, we've said this before and we've been clowned.
I don't care that we've been clowned. I know that the Mystics have won games. I know the Sparks have won games. I know Dallas is winning games. It's very weird if you're Teresa Weatherspoon and you're just, I'm going to go to the entire bench in the first 10 minutes against one of the 3 worst teams in the league. We're not going to run a play. We're not going to get a shot off.
Right, we're just going to let us get a shot clock violation when we're only down by 2 points. That's insanity to me.
And when you're a new coach like Teaspoon, who is a veteran of the league, well-liked, a great personality. We've talked about her on the pod before. She's wonderful when she's mic'd up. I would not be shocked if there's a little desire to get a high quality point guard for a team that is lacking in any creation, any 3-point shooting, just has 2 bigs that are rookies, that are prominently featured rookies, that are good in their own right, that could use somebody to get them into actions that would benefit their offensive talents. Camila Cardoso had a good week.
Yeah, she did.
She had a great week. She scored a ton of points in the paint, as she does. But there's this battle between her and Angel sometimes.
Yes.
In the paint. And not like a physical battle. Like, they're not upset with one another.
No.
But, like, there's only so much room there for the two of them to work together. And there are schemes that you could do to get them to work together. But adding somebody like a Paige would be very enticing for a Chicago team that won a championship in 2021. Mm-hmm. They won a championship in 2021.
Yeah, I did not realize that. You win your championship, then I don't know. I get that in my mind, there must be something. There must be something going on with the leadership of this team, because they won a championship in 2021 and then all the players left. And I had seen when the Olympics were going on, Angel Reese was going back and forth on Twitter with Gabby Williams, who just signed with the Storm. And I guess Gabby Williams had also been on the Sky at one point.
In the past. She was not on this team.
Okay. And Angel Reese was like, you should come back to the Sky. We'd love to have you back. And Gabby Williams was like, my bridges are burned there. I'm not going back to the Sky.
I could never come back.
Yeah.
Let's go briefly. The 2021 roster that won the championship had a bunch of good WNBA players on it. Lexi Brown, Sparks, Ka was there. Diamond DeShields, one of the holdovers that was from that 2021 team that's still on this current roster. Steph Dolson, Dana Evans, also there, fan favorite, who asked for a trade a couple months ago. That's tells you something, that there were players that were asking for trades that we weren't really aware of until this deadline passed. Dana tweeted, like, yeah, it came out, I asked for a trade several months ago. And they didn't do right by her and didn't honor that. I guess they wanted to play her more. Doesn't seem like they are doing that. Natasha Mack, she was there. Candace Parker obviously was the primary engine there. Azure, Allie Quigley, and Courtney Vandersloot.
Oh, Vandersloot.
Were playing there. And then a couple of other names that we're unfamiliar with.
Okay.
It's a good team. That's a great team.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they won. But, Dana Evans, Diamond DeShields
are the leftovers.
Are the two leftovers.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
And it's easy to just wonder what the reason could be. There could be a million reasons why that team is all broken apart. Or that someone like Candace Parker decides to retire early. Maybe there's like a reason because of how things happen in Chicago. You never know. Never know. But vibes meter after this game, I was like, not great. IMO.
No, I mean, this game was not the worst of the week for me.
No.
I mean, it was a close game in the fourth quarter. They were going back and forth. They almost won. So this game was not too bad. I think we should fast forward to the game yesterday that they played against the Lynx.
Yeah, and then we'll go back to the Fever game.
Yeah.
Lynx game. Fairly competitive. Fairly competitive. It was a 2-point game with a minute to go. It was.
Okay.
I have it written down here.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was tight.
They were like down by 10 the entire game.
Until the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Where it got a little... the best stretch of the game was in the fourth quarter because it really didn't feel like the Sky were competing early.
It really seems like part of the strategy is to not use Angel early. I think Angel gets most of her points in the third quarter.
You think that's true?
I think it's true.
Somebody can check those stats.
I think that's true. Well, for all three of these games, I was like, Angel, where's Angel? In the first quarter.
She's rebounding the ball.
Yeah, but she's not shooting in the first quarter of these games. They're holding her till later.
Save her because of her high motor.
Yep.
I mean, again, we didn't see a win, so we didn't see like a scheme that won them a game.
Well, that's what happened every game, so that's what they do.
Right.
Okay, well, in this Lynx game, Camila Cardoso had a great game. She was shooting in the first quarter. She was like the only offense in the whole first quarter. She had her career high 22 points.
Yep.
She 9 rebounds, so she was so close.
Close to a
double-double. And I thought Michaela Onyenwere was also great in this game. She's very physical, and she had I don't know how many steals she had, but she had at least 2 really good steals. So I think both of them were at least putting up a fight. I didn't take too many notes during this game because I thought they were just bound to lose.
Yeah, it was a bit of a snoozer early.
Yeah.
Like I said, the best stretch is coming at the end, and we're watching this game knowing that they lose. If we were watching this live, then it might have been, I don't know if it would have been a little more exciting. But the thing about it for me is I noticed that the number of threes attempted, like I mentioned earlier, is just not on par with what you expect to see out of a normal basketball team in the year 2024. And when I checked and found out that the team averages an attempted 9 threes per game with 2 made threes per game to, be the bottom of the league in three-point shooting.
Yeah.
It very much comes across, especially when you're playing a team like Minnesota, which we've said many times, and statistically, the best three-point shooting team in the league.
Yeah.
You're going to get toasted. You're going to get toasted if you can't do that.
And they didn't. No, they didn't get toasted.
It was a slower night.
Yeah.
No Alana Smith, one of their three-point shooters, out of the picture. But anyway, we're not talking about the Lynx here. Rachel Banham, who is a player that was on Connecticut, who, when she was moved from Connecticut, had that 7 3-point game, and we said maybe this is the answer. She only attempted 1 3 in this game, and had 1 3 taken away from her that made me go, woo, when she made it, because of an offensive illegal screen by Angel Reese, which is a shame, because I think if they want to increase that, I don't think they want to increase their three-point shooting.
Well, no, clearly they're fine with the trading Marina. They're fine decreasing their threes.
And just running it through their bigs.
Yeah.
It is just not a formula of basketball that is able to keep my attention. And I know that we're trying to watch every team here and give flowers where they're deserved, but it is not fun to watch a team that doesn't shoot jumpers in a game that's all about shooting the ball. Like, it just, I can't.
I know. And especially, it's not even like good layups. Like, look, Kennedy Carter, they said, leads the league in fast break points.
Yeah. So they can get out in the fast break.
It would have been much different if she was there. But like, I'm trying not to be a hater, but just like standing there under the basket, layup, finally one goes in.
Should we talk about, because I don't want to get it misconstrued. I will not deny the fact that Angel can occasionally be a rebound merchant, but it is overblown the way that people say that all she does is miss her own shots, get the rebound, and then miss it again. Like, I said her engine is very high. Her motor, sorry, that's the basketball word. Her motor is high. Her ability to get offensive rebounds off of other players' misses is very clearly on display.
Yeah,
she
she
is a
does it.
very, very, very good rebounder.
Yes.
It is not fun to see her miss 4 times in a row and get 4 rebounds, but she is still doing that.
Yeah, she is, especially when there's 3 Lynx players who are great at defense, statistically, one of the best defensive teams, are all around her trying to get the ball from her. They are like slipping and falling down because they, I don't know, they're falling when they're around the rim, and she ends up with the ball. You're like, I don't know really how she did that, but she does.
Yes.
So it's very valuable. I'm not denying that.
It is. It is. But the team should give Angel an opportunity to have somebody to kick the ball out to.
Correct.
When you're an offensive rebounder, how many times watching our Philadelphia 76ers get versus the Knicks in the playoffs this past year, the Knicks crushed them on the offensive glass. Got all these offensive rebounds, were able to kick out and get more 3-point attempts. I know that's not what they're going to do because it's not their style of game, but maybe they should consider trying that. Maybe it's a next year thing. Maybe it's an Angel year 2 thing that she figures out, I can get an outlet. And obviously you're right, she's surrounded. But if they had that and then she could be getting rebounds and getting assists.
Yeah, if you had other shooters further out, there wouldn't be so many people on her constantly.
Right.
It's interesting. It's kind of like a weird catch-22.
Right.
Where if I'm Teresa Weatherspoon, I'm trying to, have Angel Reese grow as a player. I'm fine with what she's doing right now. Keep practicing your rebounds. Obviously, you're making records, breaking records.
Crushing records.
In rebounds.
24 double-doubles.
Keep working on your layups, I guess. When there's better 3-point shooters, far 2 shooters on the team, then she has to be able to pass out better, which I don't think she has been great at.
I don't think it's her priority.
It's like when there's better players on the team, she can't be doing this as much. Like, they cannot let her be doing this.
Right.
Because it, wastes time. It wastes possessions.
Right. If you're not gonna get a make or
Right.
get a better shot.
But then it's kind of like, well, if she, either gets better at her shooting her layups or she passes it out, then her rebounds go down.
Correct. But she doesn't need to lead the league in rebounds.
No.
But on a team,
Well, that's her thing.
it is her thing.
Yeah.
And it is what she's the only player in WNBA history to have 2 back-to-back 20+ rebound games. That is undeniable. That is her primary talent at this point in her young career as a rookie. There is no team like Chicago where 2 rookies are so prominently featured in the starting lineup of a team. Obviously, we knew in LA there was going to be this Cam Brink and Rakia Jackson twosome.
Well, I don't know if Rakia would have even started.
I think she would have eventually.
Yeah.
But since Camilla came back, Camilla was always going to be their starting center. And Angel was not necessarily going to be a starting forward for this team, but earned it. And now she's playing regular minutes as a starting rookie forward. And when it's 2 rookies as your primary, I don't know, basically your most notable players on your team, besides Kennedy Carter.
Yeah.
You're kind of and a young coach, you kind of just got to let them do what they're doing. And when she's obviously being an above average rebounder, you have to just kind of scheme it that way. You kind of got to do it.
Right. They have to figure out how to keep her doing that with rebounds, but then also getting better shooting.
Right. And I think it was working when they've won 11 games. I think part of that, they were surprised, certainly, that it was working as much as it was. And I think they kind of got in this position where, well, we won games by Angel just going crazy and being a borderline 20-20 player every single night. but it's at the point where other teams have seen enough tape that they can figure out how to adapt.
Well, she's still doing it.
I'm not saying to prevent her from rebounding, but like to lock out the other players so that there isn't an opportunity for somebody else to score.
Yeah.
And you're forcing the ball inside more, even though they could stand to be much more creative offensively, despite being an okay defensive team.
Yeah. Well, Angel had her 24th double-double of the season in this game, so congrats to her.
She will likely, I forget what the mark is that she needs to beat for the all-time. I mean, she can't get the consecutive double-double. Well, she already broke the consecutive double-double one. I don't know. I actually haven't checked if Asia is like close to getting there again, because I know Asia was at like 9 or 10. So there was a threat to her already early record. But she's just going to continue to rebound and do her thing. And this is why she earned this, big deal of having the most rebounds in a season with 7 games to play, 8 games to play. So.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Fever game.
Big game.
Because that was the most,
Sure.
the most anticipated game. It was the 4th meeting of the Fever and Sky. Obviously, Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. And going into this game, out of their meetings, the Fever had won 2 and the Sky had won 1. So, we were seeing, can the Sky beat them and tie? They both take...
Split 2-2.
They split their games. And it kind of, according to the announcers, was a must-win for the Sky. Because technically losing this game made them tie the Dreams record. Giving them, very little wiggle room when it comes to the playoffs. And if you want to say you're a good team, you have to beat these lower tier playoff making teams like the Fever and the Mercury.
The Fever are a much better team than them, though.
Okay, well, we saw that in this game.
Correct. The Fever won by 19 points, put up triple digits on them. I think the story of this game is the Fever have very certainly figured it out. They are a much better team than they were at the start of the year, which is not shocking, but I think they're certainly over exceeding expectations. But on full display, like, they operate as a much faster team than Chicago. Like, there were so many blow-bys and slow defensive decision-making on display by Chicago to let Caitlin and let Kelsey Mitchell and let Lexi Hull blow right by and get easy lays or, probe the paint and be able to get the ball out so that they draw the defense in and crush them on, behind the arc. It was a tale of 2 very different teams.
Yeah.
On display.
Well, the Sky were winning 21-9 at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, early lead from good 3-point shooting.
Big lead, yeah.
From the Sky.
From Lindsay Allen.
Who's been hot.
Very hot at the beginning of that game. But it quickly turned around. The Fever had a 26-9 run. And basically they were winning the whole rest of the game. So, yeah, not like great second half. To me, what I noticed in this game was just the sheer number of fouls.
Yes.
Over and over. I said the Sky have to be leading the league in fouls. They are flopping, trying to get fouls called on them. And they get calls. They themselves foul constantly. So John looked that up. And sure enough, the Sky lead the league in average personal fouls per game, 19.2.
Yeah.
That is so many.
And in this game, they had 21. They were above their average. Angel Reese fouled out. Diamond Shields fouled out. Michaela Onyenwere almost fouled out. 4 fouls.
It's like, it was just so messy. They were just being clunky, messy, bad.
I mean, and it's funny, too, because Indiana had 22 fouls in this game. So there was it was a fouling game on both sides of the ball.
whole game.
But when you look over the turnovers, which is what we discussed in the earlier games, it was also very even in that regard too. Chicago 13, Indiana 11. So yeah, it was an altogether clunky game, but when you see these plays where it's so easy for Indiana to score and how they were able to beat them by 19 points.
The Sky could not guard Caitlin. No. At one point, so this is funny. At one point, Mo Jefferson, who was part of the trade of Marina Mabry, who was on the Sun but barely played. She had surgery at the beginning of the year. So she's finally back playing on the Sky. She was so small as a person, as a human. I drafted her to my fantasy team at the beginning of the year. And just in her picture on the fantasy app, she looks like a big person, like Alyssa Thomas. I'm like, oh, she's big. She is so small.
I don't know why. You got played by a headshot.
I was clowned by her headshot. So at one point, she was guarding Caitlin Clark, could not guard her, too small. Then...
too small.
Then Camila Cardoso, I guess they were like, somebody else needs to be guarding. Camila Cardoso was guarding Caitlin. Too big, couldn't move as fast as Caitlin. So they just did not have a person that could guard Caitlin well. And Caitlin had her career high in this game, 31?
31.
So it was just rough. It was rough. Diamond DeShields had 3 fouls on Caitlin in 1 minute. And one of them was a flagrant. I'm like, can we please? You gotta stop.
Right, just bumping her.
Yeah, it's just shoving her over. It was very physical, and would have probably been worse if Kennedy Carter was there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We know what Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark, double CCs going at each other.
But this game was the Barbie game.
Oh, this was the Barbie game.
That was so fun. They were playing the Barbie soundtrack.
There was a lot of Barbie soundtracks.
There were so many Barbie songs. We were playing Dua Lipa. We're playing Hot to Go. I really want to go to a W game for the music, for the vibes.
I believe my mom said that she saw something that this was the most expensive single game ticket in WNBA history or all season. I think it was the cheapest ticket was $130 or something like that. Or was it $313? $300. Yeah. Everybody got a little Barbie towel.
So cute.
So cute. I hope that everybody had a good time there. And obviously everybody's there to see Caitlin and Angel.
Yeah.
2 big-time rookies. We'll say this was the high watermark for Chicago Sky 3-point shooting with 9
somehow
made threes. That is the most they've made in a game this season. 9 on 25 shots, a very normal shot diet.
Yeah, but way more than usual.
It's because you see Indiana and you're like, you have to counter them because you know Indiana's going to shoot a ton. But that's why I'd like to pivot into the favorite players that we watched, that we had the opportunity to watch following Chicago as we wrap up this segment. I'll give a shout out to one Rachel Banham, who was a player who was on the back of a Connecticut Sun bench we didn't see a ton of before the trade. And her ability to get the ball up quickly when she gets it passed to her. She was 4 for 10 in this game against the Fever. I enjoy somebody that can make a 3. She scored 0 points in that last game against the Lynx, but that's okay. I don't think about that. I think about the fact that she was 4 for 10 against Indiana and that she has the ability to shoot, and I hope that they use that in their plans eventually. But that's who I would like to shout out on Rachel Banham. You?
Okay. I'd like to shout out Michaela Onyenwere. I didn't know her at all before watching the Sky this week. And I think she has become a very valuable piece of this team, especially with Kennedy out. And who knows how long Kennedy Carter's going to be sick for.
It's true.
So she
Time.
was doing awesome on defense. She had the most points in that first game against Washington. So she's pulling her weight and she's grinding it out. And I think she's become valuable to kind of counter the two bigs of Angel and Camilla. And she frequently wears 2 different shoes. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't notice that until the last game. I was like, oh, she got a blue and a yellow shoe.
Yeah, she had 2 different shoes all the games.
Very Sky themed. And I'm talking about Sky with an E, not Sky, Chicago Sky.
So why should we be Sky fans?
Why should we be Sky fans? Well, I think one of the best reasons to be a Sky fan is that the team will garner a ton of attention. I don't want to say the same thing that I've said the last 2 weeks where they could have Paige, because I think that's unlikely. I know I told you my theory about how they're trying to maybe lose games and fall into that bottom 4 to have a shot.
They're not even trying. That's happening.
Right.
They're just doing it.
They're just doing that on their own.
Yep.
When you have Angel Reese, who is a player that gets a ton of attention and a lot of positivity, that's a good thing. It's good that your team is not, a random team that is easily forgotten in any league. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. Viewership, that gives your team opportunities to do cool things and might, put the front office in a position where they think that they can make a move to make the team better. I mean, obviously they tried Marina Mabry. That wasn't the answer. But they could find themselves getting another very talented person to join this team to help initiate this offense, to bring them back to the success that they had 3 years ago. Camilla, I think, is going to be better than Angel in her career. I think Camilla could be amazing in the W.
Yeah.
And you have that. And she's only played 20 games or whatever
she
it's been.
knows what she should be doing. And she's good at it.
And that means you get Dawn to come to your games. And if Dawn's there, that's always good vibes. So I think that there's plenty of positivity in just those 2 rookies alone. I think Kennedy Carter is a player that's fun to watch, at least.
Do you think both of them will stay on this team? Well, I can't say long term because of everything going on with new teams, CBA, whatever. But do you think they want both of these players to stay?
I don't know how to answer that. I think that they will both survive the 3 expansion drafts. I think they'll play out their rookie contracts, which are 4 years. But when we get to that next contract, I don't know. Maybe they trade high on one of the 2 of them. Probably smarter to trade Angel because I think you can get a lot for Angel. But I don't know. I think if they can figure out in year 2 how to make them work together a little better and to cater their offense a little bit to where they're not so plugged up in the paint, then I think they can work. I'm not going to deny that I think they could work together because this is a low sample size. But I think I would probably say it's pretty much a 50-50 within the next 4 years if they'll still be on the Sky together or on the same team. It'd be pretty wild if they both went to a different team. But anyway, I mean, in your opinion?
I don't know. You have to... My whole opinion about, where this team's going to be really depends on this upcoming draft and any moves they try to do in this offseason. Because I think this team will for sure look different next year. Whether both Angel and Camilla are both still there and they just add a bunch of better other players, I definitely think it's possible that one of them goes to get another guard that will help more. Or at least you have to better define their roles.
Right.
So they're not both trying to do the same stuff.
Right.
And neither one of them is being, very efficient about it. So for sure, this team will look different in the coming years. I think, for the better. They're not going to get worse than this.
No. But it's dangerous to be a team that's a 8 seed, 7 seed. Because then you're getting put through the grinder against New York or against Vegas or against Minnesota. You're never going to have success. You got to figure it out. If it's going to work, it's going to work. And if it's not going to work, then you got to go do something else.
So maybe their plan is just try to get good rookies for these next couple years. Keep them on their rookie contracts through what's going to be chaos for the next couple years. And hope at the end of all of it, you can have some vets that will be good at shooting. And then they become a very good team. So they're setting themselves up.
Yes.
I think it's not a bad thing to be a fan of the Sky. I don't think if you want to be a fan this year, that's fine. A couple years.
Maybe wait it out.
It's like, I will be a fan of the Sky. Not right now. But Angel and Camilla are fun.
Yes, they are fun.
So it's not a bad
And you get Barbie nights.
Yeah,
because
that's great.
a Bayou Barbie. You can't go to Barbie night at the Minnesota Lynx game. Probably not. I mean, you could, but they got the Barbie branding thanks to Angel. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that'll pretty much do it for our coverage of the Chicago Sky today and this week. We're moving over to talk about the Dallas Wings next week, a team that is somewhat surging from the bottom of the league, trying to claw and get one of these 8 playoff spots, with the newly renewed Satu Sabali coming back and Enrique doing Enrique things and beating teams like Minnesota. We'll get all into that next week. Again, if you are new here and you'd like to send us an email, do so. attackthebaseline@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Or connect with us on our Twitter at @ATBpod_. But Kristen, I'm looking at the baseline. What are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Thank you all for listening. We will be back soon. But until then, enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the rest of this season of the WNBA. Ta-ta.